Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Health In Show, an affiliate program of Homeopathy World Community. We're going to have a special guest, Amy Page, and she's a mom, a wife, a dog owner, and I have a special page up on Homeopathy World Community. You click the banner and you'll learn all about her background as a professional and dedicated to the mission of security. She utilizes her customer service skills to relay requirements and coordinate information security activities in an easily receptive manner. Maybe she uses ESP. Maybe we'll ask her. She told me she does not believe in serendipity per se and believes in creating, allowing, and finding your goal and allowing the universe to get you wherever you need to be. You might run into a few serendipities, or you might call it that, which would be coincidence perhaps. But are there any coincidence? I'll leave that up to you. If you're going to a meeting, you say beforehand in confidence to yourself, this will go well. I will have a pleasant meeting. Likewise, if you go in believing that it will not go well, it will go bad, that might happen. She also has a son, and I met her on Facebook, so there's your serendipity. Another serendipity is that we were supposed to have Mr. Norland. He will have to be rescheduled, and in lieu of that, I said, what am I going to do with the show? And Amy's posts on Facebook are constantly coming up down my stream and impacting me in a positive way. Everything that she has is so enlightening and makes me feel good, considering all the things I put up are advocacy, activism, the world is going to hell in a handbag, all these things that really, can be overwhelming or make you feel like your little part is not going to be enough to move the world. And that's why I wanted to invite her in and help us with some of these teachings that she has been studying. And so we're going to put up the slides. And today is April 15th, 2013. It's tax day, right? Yeah, yes. We're going to introduce her. Yeah, okay. Our producer, Amnon Nissan, I want to say thank you very much because he is the greatest director there is. Let's see Amy on screen. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
I got you up early. Or do you always have to get up for the dogs?
He woke me up at 5.
And yes. I know you love them because all of your photos are of them. Okay, so on our slide, we're going to be asking your participation, and I will be looking on the chat for the visitors and listeners to put their favorite inspirational quote and see what it is that touches us. In other words, when you have something that impacts you and you use it to move you forward in your life or to reaffirm something or to get you to create a routine, ritual, or habit in your life. It's because those particular words really have a lot of meaning to you. Okay, so the next slide is a little bit more about Amy. And basically, she has been inspired by the work of Abraham Hicks, the Anastasia series, which is the Ringing Cedars of Russia. She is part of the Lightworkers Everywhere, and she believes in the science of imagery. And I do too, the science of imagery, meaning guided imagery or what your intentions are and bringing them into focus in your mind, which is
law of attraction and secret.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead to the next slide. I wanted to start with sharing is caring. It's something that I've said a lot. And everyone out there, good day, Amnon and Shari and Dr. Wakar and Marga, Karen, Senya, all those folks out there. It's my little hula hoop of romper room that I love when I look in through that mirror and see you and you're reflecting back to us. Oh, he wanted me to show if I had a little mirror.
You're so animated that might have
yeah, and if you have to be old enough to know what romper room is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that we are calling your name because each individual is important. And so this sharing is caring is about what we're doing on the social networks. We're on Facebook and Twitter. We're on the blogs. We're on chats and sending messages to each other on email. And we are passing around this energy of our thoughts, our intentions, and we want to make our intentions and our actions match. So if I say, I want to go for a walk today. I want to get my exercise because I know it's going to enhance my clarity in my thinking and my physical activity, my body and my organs, and rejuvenating every part of me. How am I going to get myself to go out there for that walk? So maybe somebody out there has an aphorism or a thought or a quote that helps them to actually do what they mean or desire or want to do. Are we on the right track, Amy?
Before I take a drive, I like to say that I will arrive just fine and on time.
Oh, wow. I love that. I have to learn that one. Did you ever do that? Instead of me and my brain going, I'm in a rush and I am, I'm going to be late and all those negative things, you actually put something positive into your thought pattern.
Yes.
Okay, what other things are helpful?
Well, before you answer a phone, you might want to say, this will be, everybody has caller ID now. This will be a nice conversation. You want to just keep it positive. You want to portray that positive before you even answer the phone. This will be a nice conversation. We will get a lot accomplished. You want to just say it and portray it before it happens.
So I like that rhyme. Say it and portray it. I'm learning a lot from you already. Anyone out there want to call in and tell us what your favorite quote or aphorism is? Call in at 919-518-9773 or via Skype at Computers 2K Voice. We're waiting for you out there, all of our listeners. Okay, and what else do we have? Humor and laughter can uplift us. And I'm constantly finding things that bring that oxygenation into my belly and into my eyes that light up. One of my friends, Lara, showed me pictures of a person who is putting on a fake smile and a person who's putting on a real smile. And you can tell the difference. Just be observant, right?
Yes.
So can we do an intention to get that happiness within us somehow?
One of my favorite things to think about, the other day, I've been helping my grandmother, and I used Louise Hay. She has a lot of affirmations that are really good, and some of them are for certain targets of your body system and everything. You can change your thought pattern and it'll help release certain things that's causing problems or aches and pains. And I gave my grandmother an affirmation to say before she goes to bed. And she called me the other day and she told me about how wonderful it is that she reads that affirmation. And then she goes, no, wait. I memorize that affirmation, and I say it every night before I go to sleep, and it makes me feel so good.
That's incredible. You influenced a person that you love in your life to the point that they memorized it, and it helped them. So you help somebody in your life. And each of us can do that just through our smile, just through our positive energy. And we are waiting for you to call us because we want to hear your voice. And I want to say thank you also. This is part of gratitude. I want to say thank you to all of the people on Facebook who have provided so much wisdom and part of their life. And maybe at the end of the show, we'll show the video. I think it might be a good time to do that. I spent a day gathering, just one day or a number of hours, gathering some of the stream of positiveness that comes through. And it's incredible. That means that people are out there thinking of good things. Besides looking at all of those kitty cat pictures and kitty cat videos.
The cats are funny.
Cats are funny and soft and cute and, make you feel cuddly. Okay, so we have a quote here. Sharing is caring. Sometimes it has to get very dark before you can see the light. And that's an American Indian proverb. You want to talk about that one, Amy? Or anybody else who wants to call in and say, what does that mean to them? Yes, you're making us meditate on that. We're just meditating on the thought of lightness and dark and where we are in space and time. And is that what it's about?
There's so much that you can say about that because you can even relate it to homeopathy. You can relate it to any kind of spiritual awakening or something because you can't have the light without the dark. And it's just like shining a light through the tunnel.
Oh, we have a tunnel.
It's hard to see. It's hard to see the light without the darkness.
It's hard to see the light without the darkness. Okay, so what we're talking about, if we looked at imagery, if we light a candle and or a flashlight or the moon, and you have the sun out,
mm-hmm.
that amount of light will overpower a smaller light. So in order to see it, like the sun within the whole vast darkness of the universe, then that light will really shine out. And at nighttime, which is the dark time of the 24-hour cycle that we live in, when the sun is hiding, then we can see that light, the reflective light of the moon.
Yes.
Right. And when we ourselves are put in a position of feeling dark, feeling sad, feeling depressed,
mm-hmm.
then we can be enlightened. We can
Hello.
move. Hello. We have a caller. Who's calling in?
This is Karen.
Hi, Karen. A Twitter friend.
Hi, Debbie. How are you? That's
Karen,
right.
Karen, you either turn off the volume on the computer or you walk to another room.
Okay.
Because we're getting
I'll turn off the volume.
We're getting the reverberation of this energy.
I turn the volume off. Can you hear me better?
I love your voice, Karen. I never heard it
I've heard that before. Now you can put a voice to a post. To a tweet. I wanted to comment. I wanted to also break the ice since you're just seeing silence and you're seeing a big chat box. But regarding the darkness and the light, I think a good analogy is, when you're basically, when people are in a dark place, I think, or when people are in a very stressful mode or they're in the most stressful time, and I think everybody experiences that stress, especially now when, the economy is what it is, or when people are getting older and things are tougher and, there's all this discrimination against age. People are in dark places, and when you're outside, everything seems to be very, very neutral. It just seems there are all these distractions, so it's hard to kind of focus in on what's what, and your mind is just filled with a clutter of stress. But when you're kind of in this dark place where you could almost sort of meditate, and literally in the darkness where maybe you can close your eyes and clear your mind of clutter, and whether it means lying on a bed, closing your eyes where it's literally dark and everything is shut out, I think it's easier to sort of see that flicker of light. You just maybe slowly you could start seeing the positives, like the possibilities, like let's take this slow, let's do this first, let's take the steps, and then there's this flicker of light, almost like you're in this railroad tunnel and you could see the next stop, and I think that maybe that's sort of analogy. You have to be in the darkness to be able to see that light up ahead, that first step, that first light. And everything is a first step. Everything is a first step,
That's beautiful. And many of the messages that I have been hearing for the past month have been about the importance of meditation. And
I don't meditate either. I don't meditate, but it's as close to meditation, I guess.
Well, the importance of taking those few minutes out to close your eyes, which you said is the darkness, just to shut everything else out, that clutter, in order to find yourself.
Right.
I want to thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
Well, I wanted to also hear your voice because I see you and we write each other and we tweet.
That's right.
So nice to finally talk to you. And nice to meet you, Amy.
Nice to meet you.
I'll talk to you soon, Debbie. And I'll try to
Twitter.
listen as much as I can. I don't know if I could make the whole program because I have to get moving, but I did want to hear at least as much as I can.
Well,
it's a great topic.
It will be archived, and we're going to have a special meditation near the end.
Oh, great. Terrific.
Okay. So...
nice talking to you.
Right. Thank you so
much.
much.
Great to call in.
You were very brave.
Oh, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so if anybody else wants to call in, let's go to the next page and see what we're going to talk about next. And folks, you can also put something onto the comment box if you like. Welcome to Dr. Nyack and to Shari, Maja, whoever, and Dr. Kulbushan. One of the most important lessons for all of us to learn is attribution. This is coming from me. Through these actions, giving the author his or her due pays tribute and gives the source. It is akin to stealing when we forget to do this. And I really wanted to emphasize this one, especially when we're on the internet and there's intellectual property, or just to recognize that whose shoulders we are standing on. The previous generations, the previous leaders who have written universal thoughts that all of us can be touched by and move us forward in our life. Do you have a comment about that, Amy?
No.
No? This is
I'm very grateful that I have access to that information.
Yeah, this is kind of one of my, I don't want to say pet peeve, but something that I think is really important, that when somebody says something, a great leader or even a friend, that we don't take it as our own through our own voice, but we say, I heard this from, I learned this from, I read this, and give that attribution. It's really, really important because it brings up their spirit. That energy goes to them.
Yes.
Plus, then you're a channel by which that information is passed on to the next person. And you can see how it can become a chain of soul energy. Okay, the next slide we have is, and Amnon, can you read that for us?
I'll try. Child of mine, I will never do for you which I know you can do for yourself. I will never rob you of an opportunity to show yourself your ability and talent. I will see you at all times as the capable, effective, powerful creator that you've come forth to be. And I will stand back as your most avid cheerleading section. But I will not do for you that which you have intended to do for yourself. Mm-hmm. Anything you need from me, ask. I'm always here to compliment or assist. I am here to encourage your growth, not to justify my experience through you.
Wow.
Now I need an eye doctor.
I put you on the spot, but I'll tell you what, that was that is just chock full. You could do a whole show just about that. Why don't you get us started, Amy?
I put that in my son's book. I decided one day that I was going to do a book of all these wonderful things that I've been seeing through Facebook and through my readings, and that brought tears to my eyes. That was one of them that I had to include in there because that is how I feel about my son.
This is so you want to set him free. You want to be there for any petitions, pleas, or requests or asks. You will be there to be his mom, yet you want to provide for him space to grow, space to become completely independent so he can find himself. This whole show seems to be about identity in a way and finding out who we are and how to improve ourselves. That was just simply beautiful. And I am welcoming anyone else who wants to call in today, talk to us, tell us what is your most inspirational quote. The next slide we have is ignore those that make you fearful and sad, that degrade you back towards disease and death. Okay, that's pretty heavy. That's about fear, isn't it? And we become immobilized and paralyzed through fear. It's only through love that we can grow and move past it and see the light and carry on with what our mission is. Did you have anything else to add to that one?
No, that's pretty deep.
It is pretty deep. And I did watch part of a live broadcast stream from California yesterday. If I can find it, I'll give you the link for it. And it was all these great spiritual leaders, all these great inspirational spokespeople of the coming shift in the energy of our universe, of our world. And it's going to...
We're there.
Were you there?
We're there. No, the shift is now. I really feel it. I feel it inside. Sorry.
Tell me what you feel.
I feel a lot of love. A lot of my spiritualness, or I don't know how to say it. I just feel a lot of love. There's just a lot of love in me that I want to give.
That's beautiful, and I think you're also getting that energy from the people around you and the people you're in contact with. And because you put out so much of yourself through Facebook or wherever you are, I'm sure that you're getting the same in return. So we reflect each other, that positive energy. I feel go ahead.
Anytime anything negative happens, I go, okay, what did I do?
You do that?
I sit there and I think, what did I do? How did I bring that into my existence?
Interesting. So how can you shift it out of that when something, because I think we all have things happen to us. The Dalai Lama has things happen to him, and he's a very positive person. So what do you...
It's life lessons that we need to go through. But also, I just feel that, we need to keep focused on what we truly want. And of course, there's going to be bumps in the roads because we need to learn. We need to learn that the world is not perfect right now, and that whenever it does become perfect again, that we don't forget that information and we continue growing and expanding. That's
nice. Part of what one of the speakers, and I wish I could attribute the name of the person who I heard yesterday. One woman, and if I can find it, I'll put it onto the Homeopathy World community page, is telling everyone to lean into it. And this other one, as if we're rebirthing, is saying push, so that you have to push this energy. You have to put force in it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be, that passage into the next part of our growth pattern. It's not easy. So sometimes we do come up to obstacles and challenges. And when we do, we have to keep reminding ourselves and repeating those positive thoughts, intentions, and aphorisms so that we can get through it whole and not fall apart in the process.
It's okay to cry.
I think that this would be a really good time to put up our meditational illusion. And if you just look at that and breathe for a minute, and I don't know if everyone can see it.
I should have told you to do this before when you couldn't see the type. You see at the very bottom right corner of the video, there are two diagonal arrows?
Yes.
Click it.
Okay.
Click it.
Okay, so you can get a full screen image of this by clicking that, if everyone knows about it. And you can breathe into, this is a blue and yellow illusion. It's a tunnel that even though it is actually static, you feel like you're moving forward through it. And I received this on Facebook, and I'm sharing it with everyone. I see that there is a red phone on the corner. That's the emergency if you want to leave. If you want to leave the tunnel.
The bat phone.
If you want to get out of the full screen, just hit escape.
Thank you. If you want to escape, and if you want to escape, and if you want to escape, you go into the tunnel. The tunnel that... And you see there's a world beyond at the end of that tunnel where we're moving. And you can make your intention and create what you want that world to be. Your world. What you want your space and time to look like in your life, in your family, in your relationships, in your workspace, wherever you are. Make it a beautiful garden. Make it clean and fresh air and clean water. And we have the intention, but we want it to be real and materialized. And I'm going to escape out of that now. I see Marga says, still your mind, and the image stops moving. Wow. I'm going to have to try to still my mind and try that again. So that's a gift. It was given by Richard Weissman. I found that image. Okay. And remember, everyone, to breathe. Breathe in and breathe out, deeply and completely. In case you had been holding your breath while you went in there, he's bringing us back. And if you self-hypnotize yourself with the snap of your fingers, you can actually go back into that meditative state very rapidly. if you learn a little bit about self-hypnosis and relaxation and putting your body into a relaxed position with your feet flat on the ground and your shoulders dropped and your head tall and bringing the energy of the universe into your body. And at letting everything slow down. And, I'm even closing my eyes as I say this because it's so easy to go into that meditation. And then just as easy to recall that blissful feeling and bring it with you wherever you are in your day. So I hope you enjoyed that. And Amnon, we're going to snap our fingers and go back to the slides. I think he wants to stay there for the rest of today. Okay, so it says, I like the smell of earth, the touch of waves, the taste of berries, the sight of trees, the sound of laughter, and the feeling of being fully alive. And put yourself there. Whenever you feel that your mind is wandering and you're not focused, put yourself there. We have a caller. Good day. Caller, introduce yourself.
Hey, Debbie, this is Kavita. How are you?
Kavita Kukunor, our regular listener from Michigan.
Hi, Amy.
What is your quote? What is your quote you would like to share?
Oh, my God, that's a tough question. Okay, anyway, I would say, Debbie, enjoy each and every moment and always hope for the best.
Hope for what?
For the best to come.
Hope for the best to come. So this is your own affirmation. It's not something, or is it that you have heard by a famous author?
No, yeah, this is just what that came up from my mouth. Yeah, but of course, many authors have said this one, but I do not really have the exact words and the name of the person. So,
thank you for calling in and sharing. And if anyone else wants to call in and talk to us, tell us what inspires you. And we'll move to the next thought that we have here that says, are you able to see it, Amy?
Yes, I am.
On the screen? Would you like to read it?
I am learning to understand rather than immediately judge or to be judged. I cannot blindly follow the cloud and accept their approach. I will not allow myself to indulge in the usual manipulating game of role creation. Fortunately for me, my self-knowledge has transcended that. I have come to understand that life is best to be lived and not to be conceptualized.
And what does this mean?
That means that I am going to live my life and not be part of everything else, as in, I'm not going to live in default. I'm going to live my life to my purpose.
And not take those harsh judgments or whatever it is that people might say about you or think about you in a negative fashion?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. And how do you find that within yourself?
How do I find to let them go?
I suppose.
To let go of those negatives? There's a lot of...
Go ahead.
There's a lot of techniques to let go of those negatives. I've been learning them. My friends have been helping with that. But a lot of times I just have to work through them.
Well, what is the technique?
A technique. I'm realizing or try to realize why things are happening, why you are being shown the certain negative in your life, because there's a lot of things we need to work out, and a lot of it is a reflection of you. So if there's something that I need to work out, then the universe shows it to me, and I see it, I recognize it, and we really do need to release those.
It sounds a little bit like homeopathic.
Yes.
Would you like to make that link for us, how it is? And there was something a little bit back ago that you said was also related to homeopathy. How is all of this related to homeopathy?
I thought about this quite a bit last night. And I could be wrong, but the way I feel about it is when we're in a diseased state, or our miasm is, really showing itself, we could be introduced into negative things that you could be driving along and all of a sudden someone flips you off. Where does that come from?
Where does that come from? I didn't do anything. Where does it? It's his thing.
But I notice that it happens more, say, when I need a remedy. Whenever I'm having other problems, I notice those negatives more whenever I'm ready to heal.
Interesting. You're taking full responsibility for whatever comes into your purview, into your awareness, because you might have been driving down that highway and the guy's flipping it off, and you might not have seen it. But the times when you do see it, it's a message to you in some way, whether it's slow down or refocus your attention or what's happening today. So you're taking everything as you are personalizing it. And a lot of times I say, that's his problem. That's his energy.
That's his reflection. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's your problem, Amnon. I'll pass it on. A lot of, when I do Qigong, that is actually true. We do this healing energy, this healing movement, and we say breathing in the positive, and exhaling, letting go of the negative. Somebody else might need that energy in some way to restructure their life. But for me, I don't need that particular energy. It might enter another person's life in a different way, in the same way that homeopathically a disease state can be reflected in symptoms that are very different. It's the same disease, but one person it's a runny nose and watery eyes and itchy eyes. Another person's it's a stomach upset or a headache. So that energy can change the way it is expressed. How does that sound? I'm kind of getting into this thing. You have any comments?
I'm glad I stirred up those feelings.
Kavitha has sent us a message via the chat. She says, to change your circumstance, first start thinking differently. And this is by the famous Norman Vincent Peale. So that's what this is all about, thinking differently. And she says, I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. And that's by Dr. Charles Swindoll. Awesome. We've gotten some good thoughts here. Anyone else want to share what they're thinking at this time as we move to the next slide? And I want to thank everybody who's here with us. We're loving your energy. So this one says, I am happy because I am growing daily, and I am honestly not knowing. I'm getting a reflection where the limit lies. To be certain, every day there can be a revelation or a new discovery. I treasure the memory of the past misfortunes. It has added more to my bank of fortitude, by Bruce Lee. So if you want to get hit, if you want to break a bone, if you want to be a force to reckon with, you become stronger through enhancing your ability to resist things that are going to move you in a negative way. So that means when things, you were just saying this in other words, right? These negative things that happen to us, they fortify us through these lessons. Let's do the next one.
Grow. Yes.
Yes, we grow. We're like plants, and we do need to eat our greens. Spinach, says Popeye. Many do not realize that before they were complaining about an aching body or a chronic disease, they were complaining about many other things first. I love that. I don't know where you got it, but I love it. It's like the reverse of intention. You know, like the thoughts are coming first. It does not matter if the object of your complaint is about someone you are angry with, behavior in others that you believe is wrong, or something wrong with your own physical body. Complaining is complaining, and it disallows improvement. And you got this from Abraham Hicks. So tell us what happened when you got this message.
It was another one I put in my son's book. Any time that I get messages like that, or I see messages, I feel like it's trying to tell me something. So I don't know what state I was in at that time whenever I received it, but anytime, I'll sit down in the mornings and look at my Facebook page, and there'll be themes. I'll have actual themes of things like keep your eye on the prize. And one day that'll be my theme. Another theme will be let it go, just let it go. And it's interesting how it happens to be what I need for that day.
The universe brings us the information that we need.
One way or the other, even through Facebook.
And it's a lot through Facebook because, people can go to read their astrological chart, or they can get a message from a friend who I call angels in our lives. I think all of the people who we come in contact with are angel messengers. And so I want to say hello to all my friends out there. I love you.
Hi.
What do we have? Dr. Kulbushan, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, says one who wins without facing any problem, it's just victory. But who wins with a lot of troubles, that is history. You are all history in the making. You are part of the planetary growth. Yeah. And think about that one. Meditate on it. You're important, and everyone is important, and you are unique. And that's why persons who are depressed don't realize they're important, don't realize their part in history. And so more words like that are very, very helpful. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to share? Let's do the next one. Can you see it, Amy?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
The deepest secret is that life is not a process of discovery, but a process of creation. You are not discovering yourself, but creating yourself anew. Seek, therefore, not to find out who you are, but seek to determine who you want to be. Neil Donald Walsh. And that's funny because I was just asking, I'm actually unemployed right now, and I went to an interview, and I had a panel of 5 people, and one of them asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I said, well, I'm not sure. All I know is I want to be happy. And they said that was the most honest answer they've ever heard.
Right, but I think that most interviewers or most counselors, therapists, guides would say that that is a very open and honest answer. However, in terms of fulfilling a mission, you have to put your eye on the goal. And eye
on the prize.
Eye on the prize. And I just saw on Facebook Schwarzenegger. Somebody gave me a message to listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger, how he became a champion, how he built his body through constantly focusing his mind, and he said all of his body that he built was based because his mind did all the work, that he pushed through daily exercises that racked his body and was so painful. But in order to become who he was and where he wanted to be in the world scene, he has overcome tremendous challenges in his life, that's what he had to do. So that's my message to you, Amy. I want you to focus on where you want to be in 5 years.
I want to be a homeopath in 5 years. Sometimes I don't need to say that in interviews.
But you know what? You're going to make it. You're going to make it, and I'm going to shorten the time span. You have been studying a long time. You are going to be a homeopath even possibly in 1 year. And people are supporting you through that. And I'm smiling on that one. We need many more homeopaths in the world. Kavitha says it is rough road that leads to the heights of greatness by Seneca in American Indian. And we do have rough rides. Okay, the next one is peace can only come as a natural consequence of universal enlightenment. So I think peace within ourselves is the highest. You know, that happiness part, the happiness is a result. It's an outcome. Or it is in reverse. It is a state of mind. So you can be happy no matter where you are, what you're doing, at any time in your life. You can have that happy emotion. Peace is also something that is the highest good, the highest state of being. So peace can come as a natural consequence of universal enlightenment, is Nikola Tesla. And then when you find peace within yourself, you become the kind of person who can live at peace with others. And this energy is so important today, to find peace in this world where there's disharmony in families, in relationships, people getting divorced, in communities that are at war, at countries that are at war. The highest good we can bring into this world and this universe is this peace element. And if you've ever seen Peace Pilgrim, I recommend that you look her up on the internet, search her out, and Peace Pilgrim is an incredible human being that has been traveling the world with that message of peace. Can you see the next quote? Okay, and Dr. Kubushan has said, a bend in the road is not the end of the road. It may look like that. If you've ever been on a roller coaster, I could tell you, when it does that switchback, you think you're going off. But you're actually just hold on for the ride. You're still on. Okay, go ahead to the next one.
Me?
Yeah.
We work on ourselves in order to help others, but also we help others in order to work on ourselves. From Pima. I don't know how to say that. Kodran?
I don't... Chandran?
Chandran.
It sounds Indian, maybe. So we're working on ourselves in order to help others, but also we help others in order to work on ourselves. And I'll tell you, that reminds me of another thought, that when we say a prayer for another human being, all of those prayers for healing that we're sending into the universe, into God energy, they also, whether you know it or not, are prayers for self. That God takes that energy, that prayer, plea, request, that petition, and is listening not only to heal the other, but also for yourself. So say more prayers. The next one is, resistance creates suffering. Stress happens when your mind resists what is. The only problem in your life is your mind's resistance to life as it unfolds. Dan Millman. And that is similar to what Arnold Schwarzenegger says, that it's all in your mind. If your greatest foe is what are the words that are constantly repeating in your mind, and if you use Amy's suggestions and replace negativity with positive thoughts, you're going to create that new habit in your mind. You're going to notice that negative thought, and you're going to like, oh darn, I said that again. I'm not feeling good today, or I can't do this, or let's replace it with, I feel good today. I can do this. And so I hope that today's messages are helpful to you. Go ahead.
One of the worst things that you can say is, I can't. So you really do need to focus on, I can.
Great.
And I can be a homeopath.
Yes, and in a shorter amount of time.
Yes.
The world's time spectrum is speeding up, and we are moving through that tunnel faster. The next slide is carry out a random act of kindness with no expectation of a reward, safe in the knowledge that one day someone might do the same for you. Princess Diana. I love it. And this is also one of the highest services to mankind that you can give. In my practice, if you are attending a funeral, if you are attending those who are alive after in the family, and bring them companionship, bring them some food, nourishment, knowing that they're in community, this is, that there's no reward to those who have passed on in the physical realm. In the spiritual realm, yes. But the kindnesses that you do, and I think of this in terms of money as well, that a lot of times, like, let's say I lose a $20 bill, I say, well, somebody needed it. You ever done that?
That's all I think about it. Make it easier.
Make it easier. So, money also, like when you give it out, somehow it's going to go into the right place, go to the right person, do the right thing, and then come back to you in another form of positive energy.
I found out the other day that my friend lost his job, and my heart just goes out to him. So I took him some seeds. I said, well, what about growing a garden? And he says, oh, yes, I have enough room for a garden. I never thought of that. So I took him a big package of seeds, and I've been talking to him. I can let him use my tiller or whatever he needs to do to get his garden started. And we've been talking about he could sell his vegetables at the farmer's market they have in town. And also I'm throwing out a little bug. I like throwing out little bugs. Say maybe building pallet furniture and selling it. It's something that's inexpensive, but a way he can help feed his family.
So when you say throw out a little bug, you're talking about like an idea? You're planting a seed? You're planting a thought?
Yes.
Okay, that's what a little bug is. I wouldn't.
That's my little bugs.
I don't think I'm throwing out bugs. I would like to throw them out, but not to other people. But that's cute. I like that. I would say it's a ladybug.
A ladybug.
I love ladybugs. And Dr. Kulbhushan, thank you so much for everything you're sending us, your energy today. And he recommends pranayama, a technique of breathing in and breathing out to release and to bring in good energy. And that is really, maybe one day we'll do a show on that technique. Let's move quickly because we're coming to the end and I want to do the movie. I am, and that's a meditation in itself. I am. And when I do guided imagery, I do that. Just breathing in and out. I am. Okay. And I am open and ready to attract abundance in my life. And you can all say that with me. I am open and ready to attract abundance in my life. I am at peace. I relax and free my thoughts of any sense of pressure. No person, place, or thing can irritate me. I express gratitude often and look for things to be thankful for. I am relaxed. I live a peaceful life. Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm going to remember this one, and it will be a good affirmation. Let's do the next one. And I have to wait just a moment for it to come up on my screen. How about Mark Twain, Amy?
Reflection. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect.
What does that mean?
You need to be an individual. You need to be you.
You need to make waves of awareness. And you know what? What that means, and this was part of what I learned in this session from California yesterday, was that if everything is homogeneous, if everything is a monoculture, you're part of the mainstream majority. We need to have diversity. We need to have individuality. We need to have your essence, yourself, as part of the whole package, because we have different parts of our body. Our brain, the master. We have our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, chin, our hands and fingers, all different organs of our body. These are individual parts. So to make a whole, we need to have the parts. And that's, I think, what he's saying, that if you're going along with everybody all the time and just waving without being a critical thinker, then you might not be helping the growth of the planet. I think that's what he's saying. My own interpretation. Okay, everybody laugh. Where's your bells and whistles? Okay, next one. Next. Okay.
That's it.
Oh, we're up to the end, which means we have time for a video. I created this video from the gatherings of Facebook messages, affirmations, energetic angel messages from all of my friends, and we're going to play it. So sit back and relax. Perfect timing.
That was really nice, Debbie.
Can you imagine every day I get those messages on my Facebook stream and on my Twitter stream, and the most gorgeous photographs that people can find around the world? And I mean, we get all of these gorgeous messages, and we need to bring them into our life and refocus ourselves. So I hope you did enjoy, and I want to thank you so much, Amy, for being part of today's show, coming in at the last minute. We have more thoughts of gratitude. Amnon, every day, every week, he's the greatest producer we have here. Dr. Deepak Sharma, I'm sending you positive energy. You're out there in the world taking care of patients. To all of our friends, I want to let you know that Complete Dynamics is having a special discount for World Homeopathy Awareness Week, and I will be putting that up on the front page of Homeopathy World Community. April 22, next week, is Earth Day. Dr. Robert Bruck will be talking about our world, and I hope he has something good to say, because it can be pretty depressing. April 29th, Dr. Chimthalawala Kasim, my regular co-host, is going to be with us, and he's probably going to bring some enlightening information from his recent teachings. May 6th, Phyllis Georgic from Pennsylvania, Back to Health Naturally, and May 14th, the famous Dr. Circus is going to talk about cancer treatments and magnesium, I'm sure. And on Blog Talk Radio this week, Wednesday, Dr. Adil will either be with us, or I will be talking to you again. April 17th on Wednesday, definitely Dr. Christina Shambro will be talking to us about pet health. And Thursday will be Alan Phillips. I think he might be talking to another person, Rich, his cohort. Rich, talking about vaccinations and your rights. Health freedom, folks, on Homeopathy World Community Blog Talk Radio and Freedomizer Radio. I want everyone to take a look at that Facebook Homeopathy World Community and join Facebook Nissan Communications. Okay? Also, we've got Meeting the Challenge. Meeting the Challenge, Successful Outcomes in Homeopathic Practice, the 8th Annual Joint American Homeopathic Conference in Reston, Virginia. If you're not there this year, which starts, I'm going to be there Friday. If you can't make it this year, sign up for next year. We're going to have headlining international speakers: Henny Hooden's Mass, George Demetriadis, Alice Timmerman, the dynamic duo Doctors Shashindra and Bawishi Joshis. And that's a tongue twister for me. On the domestic front, he's laughing at me. We're thrilled to include another husband and wife duo, Franz Vermillion and Linda Johnston. Dr. Iris Bell, whose picture you see there, will share the latest from the scientific research, and we're pleased to welcome back our favorites, Karen Allen and Kim Aliyah, to the podium, 2013. Do we have any more slides? That's it, folks. So attend. If you can't make it, think about next year. It's an incredible international program, and sending waves of awareness, lots and lots of love. Send those positive messages out into the universe, folks. Thank you. And thanks for hanging in there, Karen. I see you're still with us. Thank you, Marga, Dr. Wakar, Maja, Marilyn, Kavitha, Senya, and Dr. Kubusha. Sean. Bye-bye. I made it.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Sundays 9 a.m. till noon. Carrie's Psychic Cafe with Carrie Silkowski, Sundays 8 till 9 p.m. Health In with Debbie Bruck, Mondays 11 a.m. till noon. Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays 8 till 9 p.m. One Chic Mama with Mary Michelle, Wednesdays 4 till 5 p.m. Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, Wednesdays 9 till 10 p.m. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by thatvidblasterguy.com, carolinaapparel.com, and deltaforce.net.